All right, everybody, we are just barely starting our live stream today. We're going to be talking about autism. If you're an autism parent, if you suspect your child might have autism, if you suspect you may be autistic, this is the place for you. We are going to be live for about 2 hours. We do this every day, and we talk about autism, all things autism. This is autism support. This is autism questions. All things autism related, you are in the right place. And today it is officially Autism Awareness Day. Are y'all aware of autism? How are we all doing? How are we celebrating Autism Awareness Day? I'm going to have to get my kids some pizza, I think. I don't know. We got to celebrate Autism Awareness Day somehow. A little bit of context about myself. I'm an autism dad. I have 2 children diagnosed with autism. My 3.5-year-old and my almost 2-year-old, and they are beautiful children. I am so grateful to have them. I'm also a professional. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I'm the CEO of a company that provides autism services. But my favorite part of my day is going on these live streams and talking with each of you and talking about how to support autism, how to support your kids with autism, answer any questions we have, dispel misconceptions about autism. That's what we do here, you guys. We go live every single day to do that. Britt, hello. Good to see you. You guys, as you're coming in, be tapping on that screen. It does help get the word out to more people that we are live. Britt says, can we discuss random aggression during change? Yes. Okay. Transitions are so hard. One of the things that we know about autism is they crave stability and routine. That is very common with autism. And when that is disrupted, it disrupts their regulation. It's dysregulating. And so a lot of that aggression and that anger and that fight that we see during transitions is them trying to communicate that they don't want that change to occur. And so there's a lot of ways that we can address that. One of the ways that we can do that is make the changes more less hidden and more clear for them. What I like to do, I mean, visual schedules are great. My son is at the point now where every morning he looks forward to me telling him what's going on in the day. And so we always say, okay, get dressed, eat breakfast, and then it's either go to school or go to ball pit. Ball pit means ABA. They have at the clinic, they have a ball pit there. And so we can break down the day, and it kind of helps with the transitions a little bit. All right, everybody. We do have a comment over here on the YT platform. Hi, Kylan. Happy Autism Awareness Day. Hey, happy Autism Awareness Day to you. Joining here from now on because I chose to delete TikTok for mental health reasons. Hey, Melissa, that is a good thing to do. I'm glad that you're here. The YT platform is a great place to hop over. And I read a lot more of those comments. It's a lot quieter over there. And so pretty much anything you say over there, if it makes sense for me to read, I do. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and continue on with some of these. Hey, if you are coming in here, where are you from? Please put it in the chat. What state are you in? What country are you in? I want to know, are we global? Where are we all from? Go ahead and put it in the chat here. Tennessee, Austria, Saren, that's cool. Sunny California. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, Texas. I love this. Thank you all for being here. Emily has autism. That's great. You're in the right place. Okay, it's Autism Awareness Day. Today I tried to go a little bit more blue. We're wearing blue today. Did you guys wear blue? Today we're going to flood the chat with blue hearts as well. So at any time, feel free to overuse the blue hearts today. Just for Autism Awareness today. Throw those blue hearts in the chat and let's continue on with this live. At any point when you want to support someone or you want to show your love, throw those blue hearts in the chat. Do you have autism? No, I'm not diagnosed with autism. I have 2 children diagnosed with autism, and I have worked with people with autism for over a decade, and I run a company that supports people with autism. So that's what I'm doing here. Hannah, neurosurgery resident here. Love this live. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Neurosurgery, that's a big deal. Hey, you might find the breaking news today that I'm going to be covering kind of interesting. As soon as we get to 20,000 likes, I go through the autism news of the day. This one today is going to be a little bit interesting. What do you know about autism in women, though? Fiona, that's a good question. I actually posted a TikTok just yesterday about this. Guys, did you know that boys are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than girls? More than 3 to 4 times. It's something like 1 in 20 boys are diagnosed with autism, and 1 in 70 girls are diagnosed with autism. But the interesting thing is a lot of experts in this don't actually believe that there's more autistic boys than there are autistic girls. The girls just tend to be missed. Isn't that wild? So why are they missed? Well, we do have research that shows that autistic girls tend to mask earlier, but that research doesn't necessarily state why. But one of the leading theories about that, actually published in some articles, is about our societal expectations on girls. You probably hear quite often, boys will be boys, and then we let them stim as much as they want because boys are allowed to be weird. Boys are allowed to be wild. But girls, we say, hey, you be calm, you stop being weird. And so that is something that we do know. Now, there's also some studies that show some potential biological differences that may impact, having to do with the extra X chromosome in girls, adding a protection layer. But I do think that there's something to be had about the societal expectations. It's important that we don't miss autism in girls, you guys. Okay. Yeah, Joe says, in my personal experience, I got beat for being weird and autistic. Guys, that is so true for so many people. So true for so many people. It's devastating. Thank you so much for sharing. How can people with autism go to therapy? Jessica, that's a good question. It depends what kind of therapy you need. There's a lot of different kinds of therapy for people with autism. Remember, the goal with autism is not to cure autism. Okay, it's Autism Awareness Day, everybody. If you have blue today, wear blue. I didn't have like a true autism blue, but this is as close as we got today. But thank you all for being here. Happy Autism Awareness Day, everybody. There's a lot of different types of therapy for autism. Again, we don't cure it. We don't reverse it. We don't heal from it. We support it. Okay? We accommodate. We love. And those therapies are designed to do just that. And so what therapies are these? Well, we know about ABA therapy. That's great for skill development, increasing communication, decreasing problem behaviors. That tends to be the most intensive service that insurance pays for in the United States. We got speech therapy, which is amazing at communication and speech. We have occupational therapy, which is incredible for sensory needs, and there's a lot of overlap with ABA there. They also quite often specialize more in feeding therapy than ABA does. And then for those adults, those of you who are autistic adults or a child who is struggling with some mental health challenges, mental health therapy is incredible. They can even do mental health therapy as play therapy for kids to make it a little bit easier for them. So those are the therapies that we typically recommend. Okay. Britt, what therapy helps with transitioning issues? Britt, that's a good question. So ABA therapy is great at supporting transitions and working on the skill. Remember, transitioning is a skill. Going from one activity to the next is a skill. But I'll tell you, occupational therapy is going to have something to do with it too if you want their assistance. So I would say OT and ABA. And let me tell you, you guys, I am seeing more and more division within autism service providers. Have you guys seen this? Have you guys ever seen ABA be upset with speech and speech be upset with OT and OT upset at ABA? And look, I really, that bothers me so much. That really bothers me. We need our autism service providers to get along with each other. If you can't support the evidence-based therapies that we have and work together as a team, then I don't want you working with my kid. Okay, what helps sensory? So OT is a great therapy that is incredible at supporting people to meet their sensory needs. they're really highly trained at getting people to receive the sensory support that their bodies crave. Nico says, ABA is abusive practice. Have you guys heard that before? Put yes in the chat if you guys have heard that concern, that ABA is abusive. Let me address this. Over on YT, though, let's see. My daughter wasn't diagnosed until age 14. I tried to get her evaluated at 2, but we kept getting dismissed until recently. Yes, thank you, Melissa, for commenting about some of this, the differences in girls and boys with autism. But yes, so ABA, you guys, ABA. Let me tell you a little bit about why ABA. Some people feel like it is abusive, and let me tell you, it's because ABA has been abusive for some people. If you talk to some autistic adults, and I'm a BCBA, you guys, I do ABA for a living. I run a company that does ABA therapy. I'm very pro ABA, but I'm not a defender here. I'm not gonna defend the bad things that people have done. Let me tell you what's happened with ABA therapy. We know that ABA can change behavior. Okay, you can get someone to do something using behavioral strategies. And a lot of the early ABA stuff was trying to make a kid appear more neurotypical. It was reinforcing them masking. It was an over focus on compliance. And so you had these kids that were taught they're not allowed to mask. They have to make eye contact. They have to do all these things that make them uncomfortable instead of us just supporting and accepting who they are. And so the moment that ABA starts targeting that instead of general skill development and reducing problem behaviors that are truly harming other people, then absolutely it's not that it's not effective. It's that you shouldn't be addressing those behaviors. And so that's my thought here. I love ABA. I promote it to a lot of people. I practice ABA. But the moment that they start trying to get your kid to not flap their hands, or they tell their kid that they're not allowed to say no to adults, I mean, at that point, it's crossing a line. There's some dangerous history with ABA as well. Lovas was a huge factor in getting the field of ABA up and going, and he did some great things within ABA. But he was a terrible guy. He also focused on gay conversion therapy, and caused a lot of trauma and harm to people. And so, you guys, we don't need to be defensive about ABA in general. All we need to say is, right now, if we're addressing the right behaviors, it is a very powerful science that can teach our kids important, valuable skills. So, there we go. All right, you guys, let's continue on here. Thank y'all for being here. As soon as we get to 20,000 likes, I do go over the autism news of the day. If you're new here, welcome in. Who here is seeing me for the first time today on their For You page, this live? Put FYP in the chat. Okay, put FYP, For You page, in the chat if I came across your For You page today. All right, you guys. If you're brand new here, let me tell you what we're doing. We go live on a daily basis. I'm an autism dad. I got 2 kids diagnosed with autism, who I love so much. And I will fight the world. I will change the world. I will start businesses. I will end businesses in the name of my children. I'm also a board-certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies. I was in the world of autism long before my 3.5-year-old was diagnosed. I mean, I've been doing this stuff since 2013. I'm currently the CEO running a company in Utah that provides services, and I separate about 2 hours of my day. I separate it out to be able to do these live streams because to me, it is my favorite part of my day. I love coming and talking to all of you guys. And so if you see the follow button right there, be sure you're tapping on that you follow. And then I'm going to ask for another favor from you guys. If you can afford the heart me, I think it's less than a penny to do. But it really does, it does send this out to more people and get the word out more about this live. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for wow. Amazing. Thank you so much for the hat and mustache. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. The way that we do this is I go ahead and for the first part of this live, I just read questions off of the chat. If I'm missing your question, I'm so sorry. You can hop on over to the YT platform. Holy cow, a heart me and a hat mustache at the same time. Y'all are going crazy. Thank you so much. That means the world. Thank you. So if I'm ignoring your question, I'm so sorry. I try to get to as many as I can, but if I do happen to miss it, hop on over to the YT platform. I can't say the full name of it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. The link is in my bio, and you are able to put your question there. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Autism Mama. That means the world. Holy cow. Jennifer, you're going crazy. Oh my gosh. How hard is it to become a BCBA? I'm an RBT. It requires a master's degree and about 2,000 fieldwork hours. And so it's a big commitment. You got to know your stuff to be a BCBA. Then you have to take and pass an exam that has a 50 to 60% pass rate. So yeah, these board certified behavior analysts, don't knock them. They know their stuff. It can be hard to do, but you could do it. Wife thinks I should be testing for autism. I'm 41. Is there really a point at this stage of my life? Nebraska, thank you for that Easter bunny. Okay. If you suspect you have autism, put me in the chat. If you're not diagnosed, but you suspect you may have autism, I want to talk to you for a minute. Put me in the chat if that applies to you. Look, when my child was diagnosed with autism, my first one, it caused me to do some self-reflection. We know that autism is largely genetic. And so, of course, that makes me reflect on myself. I have to say, like, hey, look, you know what? I did seem to enjoy Pokemon cards a little later in life than other people. I did have some special interests going on here. Maybe there are some autism traits that apply to me. And so what I did, I took some autism screeners, and they did not indicate a strong likelihood of autism. So I've not moved forward with getting an evaluation. So the first thing I want you to do, if you are doing some self-reflection and saying, hey, perhaps I am autistic, then what I want you to do is to go ahead and do an autism screener. I have one linked in my bio. It's totally free. It's the RADS 14. You can come back and tell me your score on here. It's out of 42, and anything over 14 is clinically significant. I think the highest I've seen on here, I think someone said, 38 one time? Someone said that they got on the RADS 14. And it doesn't diagnose autism, but it can tell you, hey, maybe I should look into this. Maybe I should go and talk to a psychologist and get an evaluation. And it does two things. The first is it will validate you, okay? Autism didn't exist as it exists today when you were a little kid, even though you were autistic. But the diagnosis didn't have a wide enough net to capture as many people. We also weren't screening as many people. And so you were likely missed. And so what this is going to do is it's going to validate your life experience. Maybe it was 10 times harder for you to make friends, to understand what's going on, what are the social norms, dealing with the changes that are so common in life. And it can give you some instant validation that, hey, look, this is what's going on. Your brain was not set up to handle these things, and you needed support. Autistic Dope said 41 or 42. Okay. Autistic Dope might be the winner here of the highest score on the RADS 14. It is a validated test, the RADS 14, and if you want a more thorough one, you can go and look at the RADS R, which is like 80-something questions instead of the 14. So, Melissa, yes, that was me. 38 out of 42 on the RADS 14, and then 164 on the RADS R. Yeah, yep. That definitely indicates that you should look into that. The other thing that it does is it can inform therapy. So if I go to therapy, everybody, I think therapy is amazing. Mental health, take care of your mental health, you guys. If you do anything with the autism world, if you are autistic, if you have a child who's autistic, or if you're a professional in this field, you very likely need therapy to give you the extra support emotionally and mentally to face life's challenges. But if you're autistic, that can shape who is the therapist that you should look for. All right, everybody, we are at 13,000 likes. That is amazing, and we're just getting started here. So once we get to 20,000, we do go through the autism news of the day. Autistic Dope says, not to be rude, could you give me the specific way to look it up when I type it into Google? RADS, RAADS, is that what you're looking for? RAADS, or what are you looking to search for? Did you say it's genetic? Yes. Autism is largely genetic. It is 80 to 90% genetic. And it's polygenic, meaning there's not an autism gene, but there's a variety of genes, hundreds of genes that we've identified correlated with autism. Angela says she got 38 out of 42. Stephanie says my score was 23. You guys, those are clinically significant. It doesn't diagnose you with autism, but you bring that to the psychologist and you say, hey, look, Stasa said 30. Jessica just got 28. There we go. Guys, 26, 28. Guys, see, when I did it, I think I got like 6 on there. It's linked to my bio. You guys, you can just go to my bio and you can find the RADS 14. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and continue some of these. Does it mostly come from the father or from the mother side? Even. They have not identified one over the other. And it's a variety of genes again. Now, I said 80 to 90%. That leaves some wiggle room. Right? So where does that wiggle room live? What is that wiggle room here? When we say 80 to 90% genetic, well, that means 10 to 20% is environmental factors while the mother is pregnant. This is not something, autism isn't something you develop later in life. All these adults who are finally identifying that they're autistic are not saying that they just became autistic. No, they've always been autistic. These environmental factors are very, very early on impacting the way that the brain develops early in utero. And so these things include things like exposure to pollutants like wildfire smoke, pesticides, and automobile pollution. And also includes things like infections in the mother, premature birth. Parental age is a factor. So fathers, specifically over the age of 40, are more likely to parent a autistic child. You guys, it is Autism Awareness Day today. So let's celebrate. Let's make everybody aware about autism today and go ahead and share this live. If you are ever going to share this live, it's going to be today because it's Autism Awareness Day. There's no shame. We are celebrating. Share this live, repost it, get it out there to everybody. Let's continue to answer questions about autism. Thank you, Lexi. Guys, Lexi is our mod. She is incredible. Thank you, Lexi, for being here. This is a positive space. Now, you can ask questions without judgment, right? If you want to ask us anything about autism, we'll talk about it. Okay. I've heard autism and ADHD can have similar traits in women. Is that true? Okay, there's a relationship between ADHD and autism. There is. Both are considered being neurodivergent. But let's talk about that relationship between ADHD and autism. If you are autistic or your child is autistic, well, you know what? I'm going to talk about this, but first, I want to see who we have in this live. Put 1 in the chat if you are a parent of a child with autism. Put 2 in the chat if you are autistic or suspect you're autistic. And then put 3 in the chat if you're just here to learn, observe, you're a professional, anything like that. Tell us who you are. And then let me go ahead. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the hat and mustache. That really does mean the world. Thank you so much. Okay, we got a little bit of everybody in here. Again, be sharing that live. But let's go ahead and talk about this. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, guys. I got a little bit off track here going through that. Okay, guys, we have a little bit of everybody on here. This is great. You scored 9. Yeah, okay. So if you scored 9, Gucci, that is not clinically significant, indicating autism. Anything over 14 is, and so something to address. Lexi, what was I about to go into? I don't know if anyone remembers. I was about to talk about something, and then I shift gears suddenly. Did you already have a master's degree when you got your BCBA? So I had to get my master's degree to be able to get a BCBA. So it was the process: first master's degree, and then the BCBA. Where's the test? The test is linked to my bio. That's the RADS. The MChat is also linked to my bio if you want to check out your toddler. Someone scored a 41. Gab, wow. Yeah. Oh, that's okay, Lexi. I'll just move on. That's fine. Oh, the other 10 to 20%. I think I got into that. I think I already covered that, but I can talk about that again here. Genetics between the mother and father. I was going to talk more about that. Guys, I can talk about some of the genetic stuff again. So how do we know that it's genetic? How do we know that it's genetic? A lot of people think that it's vaccines, right? A lot of people think it's vaccines. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. ADHD. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ADHD, you guys. That's what I was going to talk about. Man, I got off track there. Okay, that's what I was going to talk about. ADHD and autism. So there is a relationship between ADHD and autism, but I got to tell you, it's a brutal relationship. It is terrible. But about 50% of people who are autistic also have ADHD. About 10% of all people who have ADHD also have autism. So they are correlated. If someone has one, they're more likely at an increased risk for the other. It wasn't until 2013 that you could actually be diagnosed with both. Before, if you were diagnosed with autism, they wouldn't let you be diagnosed with ADHD, saying that ADHD was already covered in the autism diagnosis. Now, further research has indicated that these are separate diagnoses. And one way that we know that is how conflicting of a diagnosis they are. Okay, these are very conflicting. How is it conflicting? Well, it's like driving to the store and you are pushing on the gas and the brake at the exact same time, and it ruins the car. What do I mean by this? Well, with autism, we know that people who are autistic typically crave consistency. They crave being regulated. They crave routine. However, people with ADHD, they tend to crave novelty. They want to mix things up and do that thing which is the most reinforcing in that moment. Sometimes that's staying in bed and not wanting to go and do the hard thing. And so no matter when someone is ADHD or autistic and ADHD, then it's pretty much whatever they decide to do, they are dysregulated. It is wild, you guys. It is extremely challenging. Virtual reality therapy. Do you have any input? Hey, there's some exciting research coming out. So typically what I've seen, virtual reality therapy isn't to my knowledge, I haven't seen any research on that as a standalone therapy, but I have seen a lot of professionals, speech therapists, occupational therapists, and behavior analysts incorporate virtual reality into their therapies. And there's some promising, exciting developments there. Shiny got a 25. There we go. Do you think Barron Trump is on the spectrum? I don't know. I don't know Barron Trump. I don't know him. Kaylin just completed the test. 39 out of 42. Oh my goodness. Wow. How can parents get help with out-of-pocket ABA cost? Okay, if your child is receiving ABA right now, put ABA in the chat. ABA therapy. I want to know, does this apply to a lot of people? If it does, I can talk about this. ABA therapy can be expensive. We're talking, typically, they may recommend 30 hours a week for some kids to get ABA therapy. And so, yeah, it can be expensive. Insurance pays for it. But that means you're going to be hitting your out-of-pocket max within the first month or two. Let me tell you something, though, that ABA therapy companies don't want you to know. And I can tell you this because I run an ABA company. Okay, this is some inside knowledge that I'm going to share with you. Your portion that you're responsible for, let's say you even have like a $5,000 responsibility with your insurance. If your child is getting that many hours a week of therapy, that 5,000 might only be like 5% of what the company is going to be billing and receiving from insurance for that year. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm concerned about how much ABA bills. I think rates typically are extremely low, and it makes it so that you can't pay RBTs or BCBAs enough. But the truth is, it's an intensive service. 30 hours a week, that's a lot. And so what I want you to do is before paying that, I want you to ask your ABA provider about financial aid. Now, when you ask that, what they're going to say is, oh, yeah, we can work with you. We can put you on a payment plan. And what I want you to say is, no, I want you to tell me about financial aid to where I don't need to, I can't afford to be making payments, what financial aid systems do you have in place to cover that cost? Because let me tell you, if they waive that cost for anybody, they can't advertise and say, oh, you don't have to pay if you go here. But if they do waive it for anybody, they have to have a standard protocol in place for how they decide to do that. And they can't treat you any differently. This gets audited. And so they will have you send in their input. And a lot of times it's pretty generous. It could save you some money. And so go ahead and ask them about that. Okay. Megan got 32 out of 42 on the RADS. Okay, guys. I saw some people asking about what that test is. We just had some adults wondering if they may be autistic. And I have linked in my bio the RADS 14, which is a validated test, a screening tool. It doesn't diagnose you with autism, but it can inform you on whether you should speak to a psychologist or not. Andriel says, my ABA therapy costs so much, I thought my insurance covered it, and they don't. What do you mean? Your insurance should cover it. Don't pay out of pocket for it. Why wouldn't your insurance cover it? Man, if I was providing your service, I'd be talking to you about options for sure. All right, you guys. We're in the process of finally starting ABA, but my son's Medicaid is on hold while they review his renewal, so now we wait again. Oh my gosh. You guys, insurance makes this so challenging. Absolutely. Another comment from Jessica. How do I teach my son to lose? ABA services are on pause because no behavior technician. He is 4 years old in an autism curriculum class. Next year will be in gen ed kindergarten. Hey, he's making great progress. And the skill of losing is a skill. And all too often we cater to that skill by letting them win every time. And when they win, they're okay. But when they lose, they tantrum. And we never give them the chance to lose. And so with a 4-year-old, what you're going to do is be very careful about giving them that chance. So that doesn't mean that you let them lose every time, but you find a moment where it's low stakes. Maybe you make it clear that you're about to go and do a fun activity, okay? So you're saying, hey, as soon as we finish this game of Uno, we're going to go have a cookie, okay? Before anyone wins or loses, you say this. And then as soon as it's done, you win and you transition to a fun activity shortly after. That can kind of ease into that, but you do that over and over and over, and you kind of build that skill. All right, you guys. Thank you all for being here. We have hit oh my gosh, we are already at 29,000 likes, and I have not done the Autism News of the Day. We do that at 20,000 likes. What am I doing, you guys? You didn't call me out. 20,000 likes is when we do this. Okay, let me go ahead and share some news, you guys. Stem cell therapy. Interesting stuff is stem cell therapy, right? Stem cell therapy is a commonly marketed treatment for autism. Though there's not much research showing that it's effective. There's mixed results. And so, but there's a new study that just got published yesterday, you guys. A new study in stem cell therapy. Now, something you should know about me is people say I'm closed-minded. And that is incredibly ignorant to my stance. I change my mind all the time as the evidence comes out. Now, stem cell therapy, I want to be clear here. My stance on stem cell therapy has not changed with this paper that I'm going to talk about. It is not at the point where it should be used or recommended. It's expensive. It's not FDA approved. I want to start with that. But I absolutely change my mind all the time. We call that philosophical doubt in the scientific world. Philosophical doubt. But there was a study that was done in rats, okay? And it did a completely different. This stem cell therapy that they were testing is completely different, not related at all to what they do in those clinics outside of the U.S. That cost $20,000. This has not been applied to humans. But you may see a headline coming out because this just barely happened yesterday. I don't think media has picked up on it. But every so often, you'll see a news article that says, autism reversed. Okay? Look out for that article. That's going to be coming. Autism has been reversed. It has been cured. Because this study that was published in Translational Psychiatry, a real journal that's peer-reviewed, using stem cell therapy a very specific type where it was directly injected into the bloodstream and directly into the brain. Okay, we don't do that. That's not something that's actually being done on any humans right now. But what they found is that after this treatment, these rats that had autistic traits showed more social behavior, fewer repetitive behaviors, better memory, lowered inflammation, and lowered oxidative stress. Also saw changes in improving the gut microbiome, you guys. This is something that's promising. This really is. And so, again, to clarify, stem cell therapy, don't go and do that. It's expensive. The results are mixed. Not strong evidence. But this is a promising study done in rats. This happens all the time, though, you guys. There's always these wild treatments that they try on rats. They document it. They find that it's helpful, and then as it expands, they either can't expand it to humans, or when they do, they don't see similar results. And so be cautious about this, but I wanted to notify everybody because you likely will see it in the news. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and continue on to more conversations, you guys. And I'm realizing I didn't eat breakfast. I'm starving. I'll have to get lunch today. All right. What do you think about vitamin D and B for autism? So I want to be very clear about something here. With autism, there is no standard treatment protocol. Well, I don't want to say treatment or protocol. There is no standard supplement, medication, or diet that is recommended simply because your child is autistic. That's going to make some people upset to hear this. It's going to make some people really upset here. But simply because your child is autistic does not mean that they need a specific diet, that they need specific supplements, or specific medications. Test for MTHFR. Well, you can do that, but do that for anyone. Like half the world has a genetic mutation, MTHFR. It's guys, a lot of that it doesn't address autism. It's less significant than influencers tend to make it seem. It is a real thing. I mean, you can test for it, and it can indicate some things that you can do, but it's really mixed and not very significant. Oh, wow. Chloe said, this was the hardest thing for me when I was diagnosed, accepting that nothing can make me neurotypical. Yeah, the goal is not to make autistic people neurotypical. And what breaks my heart is people that feel that way, Chloe. Like, that breaks my heart. And I think what I would cure is the world being cruel to you, Chloe. What I wish I could cure for you, Chloe, is the world that made you feel like being yourself was not enough. That is what I would cure. Because, Chloe, you know what? You are enough. Being neurodivergent, you are beautiful, you are perfect, and you don't need to be cured. And I hope that you're getting the acceptance, the love, and the support that you deserve. Guys, it is Autism Awareness Day. Put those blue hearts in the chat, you guys. For Chloe and for everyone else who's autistic, let's go ahead and celebrate. Let's show love. Put those blue hearts in the live, you guys. Julia, thank you so much for the hand heart. Those blue hearts we're going to be using a lot today. We're going to be showing our love, our acceptance, our support for people who are autistic today. Do you think the AAC device is necessary for verbal autistic child? Well, thank you, Wagner. I appreciate the hat and mustache. Do you think AAC device is necessary? Let me tell you about this. So for a verbal child, no, I would not. Unless, here's the thing is, it's not very clear. Like that, the whole verbal, nonverbal is not a very good description. Now, if someone is perfectly conversational in all settings, they wouldn't need an AAC device. However, what we do see is sometimes people can say words, like my son right now. He could probably benefit. I wouldn't be opposed to introducing an AAC device. He can say some words, but he's not conversational, and he could benefit absolutely from an AAC device or from signing. The goal here, a lot of times, is that can also increase vocal communication. And if it doesn't, it gives them a voice. But what you also see is some people who are conversational in other settings have a hard time being conversational. And an AAC can give them a voice in those different settings. All right, you guys. I asked my doctor what could help, and he told me I need to mask harder. Bitsy boo. Are you kidding me? You talked to your doctor about autism, and he told you that you needed to conceal your autism. You needed to mask harder. Oh my gosh. That guy's not a doctor. Not a doctor. That makes me so upset. Oh my goodness. Oh. Please talk about Asperger's syndrome. I'd love to. Let me talk about Asperger's. So up until 2013, Asperger's was a separate diagnosis from autism. Autism mostly included those most profoundly impacted by autism, with the highest support needs would be diagnosed with autism. Those with low support needs were often diagnosed with Asperger's. But further research identified that it fell on the same spectrum of autism. And so they combined, and now instead of Asperger's and autism, you have ASD, you have autism spectrum disorder, which now includes three levels: level 1, level 2, level 3, and Asperger's now falls into level 1 autism. Yeah, new doctor. Do you have any tips for aggressive behavior? Yes, I do. I have a lot of tips for aggressive behavior. Look, guys. Oh my goodness. I feel hypocritical coming on here, you guys, and giving advice. Do you know that? I don't have everything figured out. I know a lot, but my old son has started becoming aggressive this past 2 weeks. And it has drastically increased. I mean, we can't have him around other kids right now. He is instantly going after other kids. And let me tell you what I'm doing about it. And that can put some perspective in place. So what I did is I talked to my board certified behavior analyst, because even though I'm a BCBA, even though I should know this, it's my own child, and that puts blinders on you, you guys. That puts blinders on you, and so I can't. I'm blinded, and so I consulted with the board certified behavior analyst, and we decided that in those moments, I'm going to take some videos. What we're discovering is us telling my son no is very reinforcing to him. When we tell him no, that doesn't stop the behavior. It actually increases the future frequency of that behavior. And so we're looking at what is the function of the behavior. We're looking into some joint sensory needs that he may have, as well as some attention-seeking behaviors that he's starting to engage in. And the behavior analyst is working on putting a plan in place for us. So let me tell you, what a lot of parents do, their kid is aggressive, and how do they respond to aggression? With aggression. Do you know what that's going to do? If you reprimand your child and then you show aggression back towards your child, that's going to teach your child that aggression is okay. I think back to a story my wife told me. She was at a concert, and there was a man, a father, and his young daughter, 3-4 years old, and the daughter hit someone, okay, just a small smack, and then the dad grabbed the daughter, spanked her, and said, "Hey, we do not hit in this family." And my wife told me about that, about how silly that man sounded, to hit his child, and then immediately say, "We don't hit in this family." When you do that, you are demonstrating that that is an appropriate thing to do in some circumstances, whether you like it or not. Modeling is a very real way that people learn. We learn this from Bandura. If you're studied psychologist, I mean, this is a real thing that people observe and they follow. And so what do we do? Well, there's a higher level of parenting, but it takes time, it takes effort. And it's what I'm trying to do right now with my child is, why are they engaging in that behavior? What are they trying to communicate that they're not able to communicate right now? What are they trying to get out of it? And what skill can we teach them so that they no longer need to engage in the aggressive behavior? And then, how do we make it so the aggressive behavior is no longer reinforced? That is what we need to be doing. Bitsy Boo says, parenting my autistic child is so overwhelming. People don't understand how overstimulating it is. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. You guys, we're 45 minutes into this live. We have another hour or so in this. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. So I'm an autism dad. I got a couple kids diagnosed with autism, 3.5-year-old and almost 2-year-old. And I also run an autism business. I was in this long before my own children were diagnosed with autism. We do therapies for kids with autism in the state of Utah. We're opening our 4th clinic right now. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, so I've done ABA therapy for a while now. I have a master's degree in autism studies. But again, my favorite part of my day is coming on these lives. If you're new here, make sure you hit the follow, because I go live every single day around the same time, around noon Eastern time for a couple of hours. So if you're on here, make sure you're following so that you can see next time that I go live. I also want to point out, it is Autism Awareness Day. And today is not just about recognizing people with autism. We definitely are doing that today, but I want to make sure that I am recognizing you autism parents. People do not see how much stress you are under. People do not see how you are not able to take breaks. There are very real research studies that have been done that have compared autism parents to soldiers in war. And the amount of stress that we are under as autism parents being comparable to that of being on the battlefield. I know that sounds silly and extra, but I want you to know, like, you autism parents, you get it. It is that you go to an Easter event and everyone else is going and collecting eggs, and your 6-year-old that should be going and collecting eggs is needing like constant support with you. Okay, that you are not able to sit back and enjoy that event. You are constantly focused on supporting that child. It is a labor that people don't understand. Autism professionals that aren't autism parents don't always understand it. But it is a lot, you guys. And I see you. I recognize you. And this is our village, you guys. Whether you're autistic or an autism parent, this is our space. Join our Discord chat. Join our Facebook group. We are all about this village, you guys. Oh my goodness, Bitsy Boo. There's no support for autistic adults with autistic children. I feel like I'm letting him down. Bitsy Boo, it is so normal for us autism parents to feel like we're not doing enough. And I want to challenge you all today on that. It is not that you're not doing enough. It is that you are not doing enough for yourself. If you're an autism parent, tell me in the chat, when was the last time you left the house without any children and went and did something just for you, selfishly, just for you? When was the last time? Was it days? Was it months? For me, it was on Saturday. I went golfing. But for a lot of people, I fear it's far too long. For those of you saying never, for those of you saying years or months, that's unacceptable, you guys. It's unacceptable for you, but it's also unacceptable for your child. Your child deserves a regulated parent. Your child deserves for you to go and take time for yourself without you feeling guilty, Something my wife and I do, you guys can judge us, okay? But something my wife and I do is when a new movie comes out, we love going to movies, but it's hard for us to be able to go together. It's hard to get a babysitter that we trust to be able to watch all 4 of our children. And so what we do is my wife goes and I stay home with the kids. And then either later that day or the next day, I go and she stays with the kids. And I know going to the movies alone is not the favorite thing, but it lets us go and be selfish and do something just for us without thinking of the kids. That's something that we do. If you're a single parent, you need a village more than ever. More than anyone else, you need a village. And I know you don't all have a village, but I want to encourage you that you can start building a village. I have some exciting news, you guys. I have some exciting news. I have a 30-page ebook that's totally free that we're going to be releasing today. And I'll be posting about it first in our Facebook group and our Discord chat with the link to download it. And so join those groups and I'll post about it in there by tonight. And it breaks down the 5 parts of the autism journey. And it is the perfect resource for 2 groups of people. One is if you suspect that you're autistic or you suspect your child is autistic, the ebook is for you. Or if you are already diagnosed and in this journey, the book is for you. Anyone connected to the autism journey, it breaks it down simply. The focus is not trying to sell you a bunch of crap, a bunch of supplements, detox protocols, trying to steal every penny from you. This is a free resource that you're going to be able to have that breaks down very simply the basic steps of the autism journey. The Facebook group and my Discord chat is linked in my bio. All right, let's continue talking about autism. Go ahead, put those questions in the chat here. Do you recommend feeding therapy? My son has a very limited diet and refuses to try new foods outside of his comfort foods. Absolutely, Heather Knight. Absolutely. Feeding therapy. What is feeding therapy? Well, let me break it down for you. Feeding therapy is usually done by either an occupational therapist or a speech therapist. Yes, speech therapists actually are amazing at feeding therapy quite often if they have that training. Some ABA therapy focuses on feeding, but that's a little bit less common. Usually it's occupational therapy or speech therapy. Now, speech therapy, they really excel at the oral movement and the muscles of the mouth. Eating uses the same muscles as speaking, and speech therapists are some of the best experts on the planet of how those muscles work. And so if there are issues with choking or like actually being able to eat the food, speech therapists, they are incredibly trained. Occupational therapists are incredible at typically at expanding what your child will eat. And so, yes, absolutely. Now, just know, what does feeding therapy usually look like? It's not rapid, you guys. It is slow. It is slow. Feeding therapy, you do not address feeding and eating a wider variety of foods by old school parenting of you eat what I tell you or else you go to bed hungry. Like, that's not how you do it with kids with autism. If you do that, they end up in a G-tube. This will surprise you guys. We got 300 people in here. If your child is on a G-tube right now, put G-tube in the chat. A G-tube is when you are fed directly from into your stomach of the nutrients that you need. And a lot of times people with ARFID or who are not getting enough nutrients need a G-tube. Put G-tube in the chat if your child is on a G-tube. I'm wondering if anyone on here does. Let's see here. Guys, I'm not seeing anyone on here, and maybe they'll put it later, but I get it all the time. So many autism parents have a child on a G-tube, and it comes from, them not eating enough and needing more nutrients. So what feeding therapy is, it's a very slow process of expanding what your child will eat and increasing those safe foods. Heather says, my son eats the exact same things every single day. I give him a multivitamin every day to help. Yeah, and depending on what those foods are, you may not need a multivitamin. Talk to your pediatrician for sure. What I've heard from pediatricians is that multivitamins are commonly overused and not always necessary. But talk to your pediatrician and they may recommend that. That's great. Okay, Jessica, thank you for sharing that. We did see some people where their kids are on a G-tube. My son only eats chicken nuggets. Yeah, guys, it's very common. There's no shame. We need to work on it. We need to support it. We need to address it through feeding therapy. But that doesn't mean that, we withhold those safe foods. If your child will only eat chicken nuggets, French fries, and pizza, well, you always have those on hand, okay? You do not deny your child of those safe foods. They need to be fed. Taylor says we do probiotic fiber powder instead of vitamin. It definitely helps with constipation. Yeah, we know that kids with autism also struggle with more GI issues. That they can be constipated. They and have some issues there, and that discomfort can lead to more problems. And we want to help our kids be comfortable. Now we got to be careful. What I just said there about GI is different than. Oh my goodness! Thank you for the hand hearts. That means a lot. Guys, this is different than the gut-brain axis theory. So there's a theory around autism that the gut-brain axis is impacting your child's brain, and although there is some small evidence to support the gut-brain axis, it is not any treatments to support the gut have not directly impacted autism symptoms other than relieving the discomfort from GI problems. And so please be careful about those two different things. So we address the gut health to help our kids be healthy and comfortable, not to cure their autism. My son was on nutrition shakes for a year until he started feeding therapy. Yeah, Melissa, thank you for sharing that. My son's grandma has tried the you eat it or starve. I corrected her really fast. Thank you, Kayla, for correcting her. Absolutely, you guys. You correct people who tell your kids you eat it or you starve. That is such an old school method of parenting that absolutely will not work with kids with ARFID or very rigid eating. Okay, go ahead and keep these questions coming in. Pretty soon, I'm going to be inviting people up to ask these questions and to talk through things that you're going through. Sometimes talking, you're able to share more than just these questions. So we'll answer a few more questions here, and then we'll jump into that part of the live, you guys. I got my son to try new foods by just leaving them out. His curiosity always made him try it. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I always find my kids eating paper. Any advice on how to stop it? I'm so tired. Yeah, thank you. I'm so tired for bringing that up. You know what? So if your child engages in pica, put pica in the chat. Pica is eating non-edible items or putting them in your mouth. My son this week has started that as well. Guys, my son is going through it. I found him yesterday with, he had gone and found a metal measuring cup that he was stimming like crazy with it in his mouth. And so one thing to do, if your child is constantly craving different food or different items that are not food, it is important to include your pediatrician in the discussion. A lot of times people crave non-food items when there are dietary needs not being met, some balance in the body that is not being met. So talk to your pediatrician for sure. However, once you get them medically cleared, it is something to address. A lot of people, can choke or be harmed from this. There are some really dangerous things, if they find a battery or if, these worst case scenarios, we really want to avoid that. And so the very first step is security. You keep things that that they're going to be trying to eat away from them. And then the second thing is to consult with your care team. This is one of those behaviors that is serious enough that you need to talk with a behavior analyst, occupational therapist. They're both going to have really good input on it. The occupational therapist can say, oh, he's putting metal things in his mouth. Here are some, ways that we can support that sensory need. Behavior analyst can say, hey, like let's find a replacement behavior. Let's focus on that. And so, yeah, that's my recommendation. Oh, Bitsy Boo. That is hard. That is hard as well, Bitsy Boo. My son will be turning 5 and he does not eat solids. He eats pureed food. Yvette, that is common. That is common. My son loves pureed food as well. He'll eat those veggie pouches all day, and prefers that over solid food sometimes. Now, my recommendation to those who the children are not eating solid foods and they're eating purees, speech therapists are really going to be highly trained to work with your child on increasing some of if there's a muscle issue, being able to work on that with your child. All right, you guys. What do you think about using a talker device with autistic children? So that's referred to as an AAC device, is a communication device. Now, if your child is struggling to communicate, we have options. And I want parents to know when they select an option other than vocal speech, that is not a lifelong decision. You are not settling for your child that now they're never going to talk and they're going to be talking through an iPad the rest of their life. No. In fact, it does the opposite. When you expand how your child may be able to communicate, whether that's through sign or an AAC device or a picture exchange communication system, once you expand that, vocal speech tends to come more often and quicker. Now, why do some of our autistic kids communicate better with an AAC device or through signing? Well, it's easier to learn for sure. One way to show this is if you're trying to prompt someone to say something, how do you get a child to say dada? Okay, you don't go in there and get your fingers in their mouth and like expand it and shape their tongue and tell them how to say dada and push on their diaphragm to make air come out. You cannot physically prompt vocal speech. They have to have the skill of imitation so that when you say dada, they say dada. And that prerequisite skill isn't always there. And so when you use things like signing or a picture exchange system or an AAC device, you are able to prompt better through moving their hand and providing prompts in the least intrusive way possible to show them how to gain access to the reinforcement. And so that is powerful, you guys. That is one reason why they tend to pick up on signing or picture exchange or AAC devices. 50,000 likes. Holy cow, you guys. What a wild live. I have loved this. This has been so good. All right, everybody. Do we have any other comments on the YT platform? Okay. Kayla, I love this. Unpopular opinion. We also don't make them clear their plate. They only eat until they're full. Hey, who else does this? Put yes if you agree with this, no if you disagree. We don't make them clear their plate. They only eat until they're full. Yes or no? What do you think? How do you feel about that? Yes or no? Kayla, I love it. I think that's great. That's something that me as a kid was very pushed, and I think for me it's made it so that clearing my plate is so reinforcing that I hardly ever have leftovers. That's not healthy for me. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kayla. My 3-year-old picked bird poop off the porch and put it in his mouth last night before I could catch him. No, Melissa. Oh, no. Hey, you know what? Can I tell you the most disgusting thing that happened to my son? Oh, no, guys. Oh. All right. I'm going to tell you guys something. My son, one of my son's special interests are toothbrushes. Okay? My son loves toothbrushes. I run a clinic. One of the clinics that we have is for adults, and we have an adult client who cannot vocally communicate. We're working on communication with him. We're also working on brushing his teeth. And so he has a station at one of our clinics. Now, over the weekend, I think it was a Sunday, I brought my family to one of the clinics because I had some work to do. My son was there just playing, my 3.5-year-old with autism. And he walks over to this man's toothbrush. I think y'all know where this is going. And before I caught him, before anyone saw him, he had this man's toothbrush that this other man had been regularly using and was brushing his teeth with it. Oh, oh my gosh. Fortunately, we had other toothbrushes there that were clean, that were new, and I was able to go and put a toothpaste on it, and we got his mouth all cleaned out and everything. But man, guys, no shame, you guys. Kayla says the studies I've seen show it can lead to eating disorders. Yeah, the clear your plate thing. Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Okay, for example, using the word up when wanting to be picked up and thrown and doing it repeatedly to get him to say it. But when he does, he come up to me unscripted and say up. Very cool. Yeah, that could be great. Jessica, so you're saying he appropriately uses the toothbrush. Yes, he did appropriately use the toothbrush. He just used the wrong toothbrush. You know what? What a good mindset to have on this, Jessica. I appreciate your shift in how we're looking at things. I am so proud that he brushed his teeth. Oh no. Okay, is the vaccine related to autism? All right, you guys, what do we tell user here? What do you think? Are vaccines correlated to autism? What do we think, you guys? Oh no. Lexi, did you just put yes? Oh my goodness. Lexi, I think sometimes you're just making sure that I'm watching you. All right, you guys. Vaccines do not cause autism. They're not correlated with autism. There have been no studies that have even found meaningful correlations between vaccines and autism. There are anecdotes, and I'm not mad at parents who believe this. You know what? I feel terrible for parents that believe that vaccines cause their child to regress, because that means that they had to live one of the most challenging experiences a parent can go through, and that is starting to lose your child through regression. And to me, that requires an amount of love and understanding that we need to have for those people. But the truth is, it's just a coincidence, a timing. The studies show that children regress equally whether they're vaccinated or not. Patriot says parents witness their child change instantly after the shot. Yeah, so I noticed my child get a fever after the shot. That is the most common side effect. And with fevers come behavior changes. And then you start noticing the regression that either had started or starts a short time after, because it's around the same time. And so that real change that people see instantly is common, that fever. But that's not causing autism or causing the regression. Patriot says, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I try to. I'd love it. Do you have a study, Patriot? I'd love to see the study. I have dozens of studies. You can check my bio that have studied this exact thing. Thanks, Lexi. And it's okay, you guys. You can disagree and stuff, but I don't know if she was an autism parent. It didn't sound like it. She just is saying that there are other people that went through this and trying to speak for those other people. So I don't have as much sympathy for her as I do for these parents that are living that, you guys. Like I'll talk to them all day and just give them a hug is what I want to do. My mom told me a year ago that McDonald's was causing autism. Oh my gosh. You guys, what is the most wild thing that you have heard that causes autism? Put it in the chat. I want to hear this. I want to hear, what have you been told, or what have people implied through their speech and communication with you that has caused autism? I'm curious. Tylenol, okay, yes. Incense. Oh my goodness, I have not heard that one before. Tylenol, yes. Vaccines, that it's just your fault as a parent, bad parenting. Breastfeeding, oh my goodness. An ear infection, wow. Anti-nausea meds. Not taking prenatals. I've been told it's not real. Lack of discipline. Melissa, that's a big one. That's a big one for sure. Kayla, because it's your fault because you have MS. Bad diet, plastics. Oh my goodness. Processed foods. That life causes it. Yeah, I saw breastfeeding on here. I didn't see formula yet. That's interesting. Heavy metals. Guys, the lack of discipline one. Guys, the reason I like to talk about this is because I am opposed to any kind of communication that implies the parents did something wrong, because there is no research of that. And autism parents are already having a hard time. I had someone on this live say that autism is caused by lack of parental engagement, that parents aren't spending time with their kids, and that's causing autism. And what I say to that is, I don't know a group of parents who are more involved with their children than autism parents. Autism parents, they don't get breaks. They are constantly engaged with their autistic children. It is not due to a lack of parental engagement. Now, screen time, you hear that one all too often, that it's because of screen time. You guys, screen time does not cause autism. There's a phrase called virtual autism that people have started to coin. It's not a real thing. It's not a real diagnosis, but it's a real trend that they're noticing, that kids who have too much screen time, it can definitely impact their ability to socialize. But we know autism isn't just not being able to socialize. That's not autism. And calling it virtual autism, they say, oh, I'm not saying it's autism. It's different, but it's like autism. No, it's not. Autism is a real disability that has set criteria, and we can't just minimize that by making up our own term and calling it virtual autism. And so, guys, autism did not cause your screen time. My big thing that I want all of you to know, especially you autism moms out there who seem to be the brunt of these critiques, you did not cause your child to be autistic. Yeah, maybe your genetics did. Maybe environmental factors played a role while you were pregnant, like an infection that you had, but that was outside of your control, or premature birth. But you didn't take any action within your control that caused your child to be autistic. Your child is beautiful. Your child deserves acceptance and love and support. It was extremely hard for me to believe that vaccines don't have anything to do with autism. My son broke out in welts after a vaccine and began regressing shortly after. But after research, I don't believe they do. But when you're just starting this autism journey, you look for the reason your child has autism. Also, looking back now, he was stimming with his fingers at a young age before the vaccine reaction. Caitlin, thank you. That is a big part of this confusion, is there are very real, like, immediate impacts of vaccines that can happen and that are fairly common, like the fever or, some other reaction. And it is totally normal for autism parents to be looking for a cause of what happened to their child if they regressed. And so I'm not mad at autism parents who go through that journey. And honestly, I just hope that they're getting the support they need. And I think it only turns really harmful if they're really telling other people not to get vaccinated, or if they're then trying to cure their child because they believe it's just toxins. My daughter had a brain injury at six weeks and said that it may have contributed to autism. So There can be overlap between autism and acquired brain injuries in how things manifest, but autism is not a brain injury. And so it may have, the brain injury may have brought on some of the autism already there, or it could just be, you would need to talk to the doctor, but brain injuries don't cause autism. But sometimes the behaviors can overlap and it can look similar to autism. So, I always think it's all the vaccines so young. Ragbeer, nope. It's not the vaccines. Vaccines are safe. People say, oh, what about the heavy metals? Well, there really two metals are what we're looking at: mercury and aluminum. And aluminum? Is that right? I think it's aluminum. Why is my brain not working right now? Yeah, aluminum. Guys, there's not lead. It's aluminum and mercury. And those are the metals people are most concerned about. Now, mercury is not in any childhood vaccine. And so that's a misconception. It's not in the MMR vaccine, it's not in any of the vaccines. And aluminum is one of the most common metals on the planet and is in just about every food that we consume. And the amounts that are in there are such trace amounts that has not been found to do any harm to the body. So, how does a mother with infection link to having a child with autism? So during pregnancy, there are some infections. Some of the links are in my bio on that. Food causes autism. No, food doesn't cause autism. Curious what you think about that. Roundup. Okay. See, the Roundup stuff during pregnancy, there are some pesticides. I don't know specifically Roundup, but I do know that pesticides have been correlated during pregnancy with autism. Is homeschooling bad for someone with autism level 2? Let me tell you my thoughts on homeschooling. Okay, when you have a child diagnosed with autism, you are then promoted to being a care team manager. Okay, your job now is not to be the expert in every way for your child. It is to bring the experts to your child and surround yourself with the experts. And some of that is bringing on experts with the school. And so there's a lot of really good resources at school that I would worry that you may miss out on if you're homeschooling, but that's a decision you're going to have to make. So I'm not opposed to it, but you are accepting that, my kid gets speech therapy at school. He's getting services that resemble ABA at school, and it's been really good for him. But look at what your school has to offer and determine if that is part of the experts and care team that your child needs. And if you're not doing school, well, you're going to want to look at ABA therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, potentially mental health therapy if there's anxiety or depression. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and be bringing people up. I'll go ahead and be looking in the chat. Let's go ahead here. Lexi, hello. Good to see you, Lexi.
Hi, good morning.
Well, happy Autism Awareness Day. You guys out doing your festival?
Happy Autism Awareness Day. I wanted to show you something. Let me see if I can, hold on. Can I turn on my video? There we go. Let's see. Yay!
Hey, look at that.
Wearing my blue. Okay, I'm going to turn off my video now.
I love that. Well, you're out there doing some good things. That's great. I did my best with the blue, but this is as close as I got. So we're calling it good, you guys. But wear your blue today. It's Autism Awareness Day. Lexi is out doing some good autism awareness stuff. And
Thank you. That's okay.
Go ahead and be requesting up, you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and request up, and we can address those questions. I'll go ahead and see if we have anyone in the box yet. We have Destiny. Let me go ahead and before I bring up the next person, Destiny, we got to check in with Destiny. How are you, Destiny?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. How did it go?
Okay, so yesterday was a nightmare, and I had, as an autism parent, You really need like a 24-hour notice to clean your house before somebody shows up. They're
Yes.
supposed to be here at 4 o'clock. At 3:56, she texted me that something came up and she had to reschedule for next week.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
great. So that gives my child a whole 7 days to ruin my house, and then I
then
am going to
clean
have to
again.
do it again.
Did you say, no, you need to come over right now because my house is never going to be in this state?
That's exactly how I felt, but I was like, you know what? I want to be able to do this, and if she can't do it now, I'm just going to have to. I was so mad. I was
Oh my
livid.
gosh. Oh, I hate that. I hate that
Oh my
so
gosh,
much.
you had to clean all that stuff really
And yeah, and
detailed for
4 minutes
nothing.
before she was supposed to be here, like, surely you knew. Because 4 minutes, that's right outside the neighborhood. Like, you were not on your way.
Right.
No, you knew. You could have texted an hour before then or that earlier that day. Come on now. That's
Yes.
frustrating. Well, I'm sorry, Destiny. You guys, Destiny is in touch with her local news in Alabama. There are concerns with access to therapy for kids with autism in Alabama. That she is going to be doing some speaking to the news about. Very cool, Destiny. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and bring up some people that may have questions. TikTok. Hello. Where are you from, TikTok?
I am from Florida.
Wonderful, Florida. Florida's great. What are you?
The-
What question do you have for us?
So, my almost 6-year-old granddaughter, they live with us, and we started noticing things with her pretty early on, and she got a diagnosis right around the age of 2. And I've had so many people tell me that age is too young for her to be diagnosed. But
And how old is she
even
now?
she will be 6 in May.
Oh my goodness, yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Is too young? Do you think?
So, if I could have gotten an official diagnosis earlier than that, I would have, because the signs were so clear. Like,
Yes.
she had all of the things, right?
Yes.
And the way that it's played out for the last 4 years is exactly not what people used to think autism looks like, but what it actually looks like.
Yes.
And
I'm
so
curious. I'm going to cut you off just for a second. I want people to put in the chat, what age was their kid diagnosed? Go ahead, put it in the chat. How old were your kids? My son, both my kids were diagnosed before the age of 2. Both my autistic kids. So one was like the day before his second birthday, and then the other one at 19 months, she was diagnosed. And so I absolutely agree with you. And do you know why it's like, what are your thoughts? Why is it so important, in your opinion, to get diagnosed early?
so for Evelyn, it was the help and support that she needed, not necessarily me and my daughter, but the baby, right? She needed speech therapy and OT. She's doing really well now. Like, this child will carry on a full blown adult conversation with you. But at that point, she had no language.
Oh my
at-
gosh. She's
So,
progressed so much, and that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Okay, guys, do not wait to get your child diagnosed. And if people are telling you it's too young, I mean, do not accept that. The label is not what's harmful. People say wait because of some fear that having the label is going to harm your child. And having that label does not harm your child. What harms your child is them not having access to the services that they need. And so please do not, out of fear of avoiding the label, wait to get your child diagnosed. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Is there anything else you wanted to share, advice you want to give? One last thing before I
yeah,
move on.
just one more quick question.
Of
So,
course.
I'm sitting here holding her 3-month-old brother. And he has CF,
Wow.
but I wanted to know, like,
Wait, CF? What is
yeah,
CF?
cystic fibrosis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
But I wanted to know what are the percentage odds that he will also have a diagnosis of autism?
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
It's most likely he is not going to have autism, but there is a much higher chance that he will, because his sister does. So we're looking at a 20% chance that he
Okay.
will be diagnosed with autism. That's one in
Okay.
five. And so it's one of those things where it means you got to be on the lookout.
Oh yeah.
I have two kids diagnosed with autism and two that are not, and so that's how it played out with my own kids. But
Okay.
it ends up being that's about 10 times higher chance of being diagnosed with autism if you have a sibling with autism. So
Okay. I
yeah.
mean, all we know right now is that because of Evelyn, we know the signs to look for.
Yes.
And as soon as that starts to happen, if it does, then we know that we need to get in there quick and get the diagnosis and the support.
Yes. Yes. That is
Some
exactly
signs
right.
are the same, but you also have to look at the overall of the child because every child is different who is
Sure.
diagnosed with autism. So you just want to look at the overall of everything that happens because he might be a little bit more different than his sister if he does end up having autism.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for coming up.
Thank you.
And
And thank you for doing this every day. I appreciate it so much.
absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, you have a good one. You have a good one. Also, I forgot to tell you, you're in Florida, and by the way, Florida is incredible for autism services. They are kind of a central location. They actually is like ABA grew and started in Florida essentially. Like that was one of the main hubs of ABA, and I got to tell you, like the quality of services that I see out that way is phenomenal. And so if you're out that way, like there's some good supports out there. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and see if there's any other people who have questions that want to ask something. All right, Caitlin. Hello, Caitlin. Caitlin, I've seen you in the chat a lot. I can't remember. Have you come up before?
I have not.
Well, thank you for coming up. Where are you from?
I'm from Alabama as well.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I
And
live really
Destiny
close to
just
the
ran
Georgia
off.
line, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I just kind of wanted to piggyback on her. We have a 3-year-old. He was diagnosed 3 months ago with autism, but I knew for a while, but we could not get a diagnosis until he was 2.5 around here. But we also have a 9-month-old. And every
How are
single
you
day I
feeling?
catch myself watching him, looking for signs and everything. And even though he's developing typically, he still has signs. But those are also signs that all kids have. And it's so hard to get out of that mindset of just watching and waiting to see if they regress.
Yeah, and like now that you're so hyper aware, I did the same thing. Like even the day of my daughter's evaluation, I told the psychologist, I'm like, look, I feel kind of silly being here now. Like, I think she's fine, and she's like, no, she's definitely autistic, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I just
Yes.
kept like second guessing myself because I'm like, wait, like
Denial.
am I just seeing things like because I'm hyper aware of it, or like I don't know. And so you're not alone, but I will say like what are some of the things that you're noticing that you think are maybe signs, or maybe they're just typical development?
The biggest thing, honestly, is hand flapping. There is a little bit of sensory seeking. Like, he covers his face with a blanket, but we're thinking it's more of an attention thing because whenever he was younger, he would do it and we'd always pull it over his face, pull it back down.
Yeah.
So he knows we will come to him whenever he does that. But he started to play peekaboo with it as well.
Yes.
So it's like every little new thing that he does developmentally is like you can take a deep breath. And then the next day you're like, oh, why are you doing that? Your brother did that.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Okay, so at 9 months old, is he responding to his name yet?
Yes.
Is he?
I will say it's about 75%.
Okay.
But I watched this video and I would get like right beside him and be like, Colson, and he would not respond to his name. And they were like, stop, they're not going to do that. They're going to black you out. Get across the room whenever he's not paying attention to you and you're not interacting with him, and call his name and see if he looks. So I started trying that, and he does.
Okay.
But if you just sit down right beside him and say Colson, 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 like he may look at you once, but he's not going to look at you again if you're not like interacting with him.
Well, one of the next things to be looking for that typically develops between 9 and 12 months is pointing. You pointing at things and him looking, and him pointing at things. And so keep your eye on that one. It's okay if he's not doing that yet. Is he doing it yet?
He's not pointing. If I point, and this is probably in my mind. Like if I
Yeah.
point, he will at least look at my hand, but I don't know if he's looking in the direction that I'm pointing. Does that make sense?
Yep. And it starts like that, and it's okay. Like 9 to 12 months. If it's after 12 months and he's not looking where you point, that can be a sign. But there's a lot of things to look for. You're hyper aware. Thank you so much for your support, for coming up here, for asking the questions. Anything else you wanna share with people? Do you have any advice for people who are autism parents or anything that's on your mind? Before we move on?
Well, I do need a little advice.
Yeah. Okay.
The 3-year-old has, he's always like wanted to bite whenever I've told him no, or like if he's crawling on the table, got him down or something like that. And I or his older brother have always been able to get away from him, obviously, or stop him. But now that we have this 9-month-old that's mobile, it's like I can't keep my eyes off him because he's done bit him like twice. So I've tried like the no, I've tried redirecting him, but it's not even always a mean thing. Like sometimes he'll just come up to me with his mouth open smiling. So I know that's more of a sensory seeking thing as well.
Yeah, you need to do a functional assessment on this. Functional assessment refers to identifying the environmental factors contributing to the behavior, and identify is like, does this happen? Is it always people, or does he bite on
He
other
does
things
put
too?
other things in his mouth. Like I will catch him with his little brother's teethers in his mouth, chewing on them.
Yeah.
But he's not. I mean, I wouldn't say he doesn't have pica, but it's not severe.
Yeah. So there can be a sensory component. What therapies is he in right now? Is he
He's
getting any
in
support?
speech and
Sorry, you cut out there. You said speech, and then what else?
he's waitlisted for OT and ABA.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. OT is going to be a good resource there. ABA is as well. What ABA is going to do, they would do a functional behavior assessment, and they'd look at this and say, hey, what is he getting out of this? Is he getting sensory input? Is he getting attention? Is he getting access to something he wants? And they can really look at the environment and say, hey, what is contributing to this behavior? And focus on teaching an alternative skill. How often is he biting? Is this daily?
I mean, there's days where it seems like it may be 5 or 6 times in there. He may go a few days without doing it at all.
Yeah. And is he breaking skin?
He hasn't broke skin, thank goodness.
Yeah.
The little baby does have a little bruise on his leg, but he has not actually broke skin.
Yeah, and it makes you, that's one of those things where you're so protective of your other child, and it's like, hey, stop it. And with my son, like, he'll go up to his little sister and smack her in the head, and when we say, no, stop, he giggles, and then he does it more. And so, like, it's one of those things that, it's going to be a process here. And you can absolutely, like, some things that I would recommend doing right now is looking for alternative sensory things that they can be meeting similar sensory needs of things to be biting on, and encouraging it, not just like having it available, but actually encouraging that, because if those needs are already met, they may be less likely to go and seek that out. And then the other thing is be looking, like, if he's doing this for attention, then he's likely like going to be looking at you or looking at the sister after he does it, and really trying to see reactions. So kind of gauge, like, does it seem like he's doing this for attention? Try to gauge, does this tend to happen more when we tell him no? Does it tend to happen when, he's frustrated about a transition? See whatever, I just had an idea of something you should do. Your ABA is going to love you if you do this, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper and make 3 columns. And one is before the behavior, one is behavior, and the other is after the behavior. This is called ABC data. And this is something that once you start ABA, they may ask you to do anyways. But what you could do is write down the times that you remember what happened right before that behavior happened. What happened? Did you make him transition? Was he just alone? Like, describe what was going on. Describe what the behavior happened. And then what did you do after? And if you have 10 to 20 of those documented, a behavior analyst can look at that with you and really come up with a good game plan.
Okay, that's great advice.
Okay. Well, thank you, Caitlin, so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and continue looking at the comments here. I'm going to be bringing some more people up, but I like to mix things up. Hello, Big Teddy Bear over on the YT platform. Good to see ya. Okay, let's go ahead and answer some questions. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're still going live for a little bit longer today. What is ABA therapy? ABA therapy is applied behavior analysis therapy. It is in the United States, it is one of the most commonly funded services for people with autism. They specialize in skill development of building new skills, such as communication and other developmental skills, as well as reducing problem behaviors. So that is what ABA therapy is. It's something we do recommend. It's one of the recommended therapies for autism. There's 4 recommended therapies that I recommend people consider first as frontline therapies. Oh, good question. How do we keep motivated as autism moms or dads and not blame yourself? It's a real thing to never feel like we're doing enough and to blame ourselves for everything, or how life is, or the struggles that we're having. What I'm going to recommend to you is, 1, you need a village, and 2, you need to prioritize yourself. That blame starts going away when you start focusing on yourself and allow yourself to focus on yourself. I hear too many autism moms, especially, who feel like they have lost who they once were. Once were. I don't want you to lose yourself. I want you had hobbies, you had interests, you had skills. You need to keep that up. You are your own person. You are not your child. You are your own person, and you deserve to be able to go and have time for yourself. And that will refresh you to go and have even more high quality time with your child when you are with them. So, all right, you guys, let's go ahead and bring someone else up. We have time for a few more discussions here. This is good. This has been a good day, you guys. If you're just joining in here, let me actually do a brief introduction of myself. I haven't done that in a while. I try to do that often in case you're new here. Okay, so my name's Kylan. I live in Utah. I'm an autism dad. I got 2 kids diagnosed with autism, 2 young kids. And I go live every single day to advocate for autism, to talk about autism. We do this every single day, you guys, around the same time, noon Eastern time. If you look right here and it says follow, that means you're not following me yet, and you need to be. So tap on that screen so you can see when I go live next. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I've worked with people with autism long before my own children were diagnosed with autism. I never thought that I'd be an autism dad. I did not think that was in the cards for me. I was in denial. I didn't think that was going to be my life. And as soon as it did, it has shifted my passion. Not only is this something that I just enjoy doing as a profession, but it is something I've dedicated every moment of my life and my day to. And so I'm trying to learn as much as I can, support as much as I can, advocate as much as I can. I was the CEO. I am the CEO of a company. I started 2.5 years ago, and that was even before my own child was diagnosed with autism. So I have been in this world for a long time, and there's a lot that I don't know still. But I like coming up here with you guys, learning, sharing what I do know, advocating, addressing misinformation that's so common with autism. That's what we do here. All right, you guys, go ahead and request up if you have a question, and we are going to get to some more people here. let's bring Kate up. We'll see if Kate can load in here. Hello, Kate. Where are you from?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you great. Where are you
Okay,
from?
hi, I'm in Ireland.
Oh, you're in Ireland. Wonderful.
Yes.
What can we do for you?
Okay, so I have to speak slowly because I do speak very fast. I apologize.
That's
So,
okay.
I have an 8-year-old boy, and we are waiting to be diagnosed fully with autism ADHD. I have been 6.5 years fighting for my son. He was nonverbal until he was nearly 5. I learned sign language. He couldn't grasp it. So we done the pixel cards
Yeah.
and that worked.
Did you get other
He,
services? Have you been doing this solo, or do they do early intervention there in Ireland?
yeah, so they do say early intervention is key and it's a waiting list. So just a few waiting lists for OT. I was told I'm going to be waiting 28 months. Yeah.
So did you ever get it?
Sorry.
You still haven't had any OT for your child?
No.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I've been YouTubing, trying to do everything myself, but I'm just his mom.
Yeah.
And
Not just.
like he
You're
had,
not just his mom. You're
yeah,
his mom.
yeah,
Okay? Let's get that phrasing right here. You're not just his mom. You're his mom, okay?
yeah.
All right.
And do anything for him. He had an eye test. It's junior infants here in Ireland. The first year of school. He was told he only had 2% vision in one eye, and that was going to be a
2%?
32-month waiting list to be seen.
Wait, say that again. He didn't
So
he's blind in one
he had
eye?
he had 2% vision in his left eye.
2%.
Yeah,
Essentially
yeah,
blind in one eye.
yeah. And it was a 36-month waiting list to be seen through the HSE, which is the Health Executive Board in Ireland.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
So I saved up to €300 just to get his glasses.
It was going to take that long to get glasses?
Yes.
Are you kidding
So
me?
yeah. So I just found it interesting that I just came across you and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm meant to be here, but I'm meant to be here.
Well, you're part of this village now, and you've had to do a lot. You've had to do so much. I want everyone. Today is Autism Awareness Day, Kate. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
But today's Autism Awareness Day. Everyone, I want everyone to put some blue hearts in the chat for Kate. I am so sorry, Kate, that oh my, thank you for the hat and mustache. I am so sorry that that the people in your area have failed you.
Yeah.
That you're not just failed you, but has failed your child. You
Oh,
deserve
and there's
better.
so
Your
much more,
child
but I
deserves
take up
better.
too much of your time.
Well, you're part of this village now. You got to know
Thank
that
you.
you are here. Join our Facebook group, join our Discord chat, and
Thank you.
there's a lot here. Let me tell you. So in the United States, we have ABA therapy. You've heard me talk about that. If you want to learn, I actually have linked in my bio a free 40-hour training that is meant for the technicians, but parents
Okay.
can go through that for free and learn some of the basics of how to do ABA therapy with your own child. And
Yeah,
so
that'd be fantastic.
that's linked in my bio. It's totally free. Usually these trainings cost $100 or more, but the one in my bio is free and it is amazing. It's actually the same one that I require my own employees to go through,
Okay.
because it's a high quality training. So go through that if you want to. Now I don't tell
Yes.
everyone to do that. Like I recommend people trust the experts and allow the experts to be experts. But if you're on a long wait list or if you're in an area that doesn't have it, you gotta step up and do some of these, unfortunately. And so that is one of the tools and resources I recommend that you look at as well.
Well, thank you so much. I feel so much better now, and I
Hey,
hope you can understand me. And
yes, you're doing great, and
thank
hopefully you
you.
saw the chat. Everyone's giving you the hearts,
Oh,
the
it's
love.
beautiful. It's
You're
oh my God, I'm filling up. I swear. Thank you.
you're doing amazing. Thank you so
And
much for
remember,
being
Right.
you're
here.
not just his mom. You
Yeah.
are his mom, and you are going to be able to get him everything that he needs,
Yeah.
even if it does take a little bit of time. But in the meantime, you can always learn a couple of things here and there that
That's
might
it.
help you along with this journey. You're doing
Yeah.
amazing, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a good
Thanks a
one.
million. I really appreciate it. I'll chat to you soon. Take care of yourselves.
All right, bye.
Thanks.
All right, you guys. Kelly says, is it legal to address concerns you have with an autistic employee in a staff meeting at work? Okay, so they cannot correct your behavior in the lens of autism. They cannot correct your autism, but you can absolutely correct behaviors that need to be corrected. Now, as a leadership perspective, if you have a problem with one employee, you don't talk to the whole team about it. You go and you address it with that employee. That's the kind way to approach it. That's the effective way to approach it. And so I don't recommend that you do that. Now, if you're autistic, though, that doesn't mean that you can't be held accountable to perform at your job. Now, you may be entitled to some accommodations to be able to do your job, but it wouldn't be illegal for them to say, hey, like, you showed up late, I need you to get here on time. Like, that's not illegal to do just because you have autism. But it's still not best practice in leadership. All right. All right, you guys. Lexi, do you have anything else on your mind here? I think I need to go eat something. I'm starving. It's noon, you guys. I usually end around noon. Lexi, what else is on your mind? Anything else we need to address here?
No, not really. I just wanted to say, again, happy Autism Awareness Month and happy Autism Awareness and Support and Everything Day. Um, Everybody who is in here, we as parents are doing the best that we can do for our child. So don't forget that. Always remember that you love them, you support them, you do everything that you can as a parent. And we just need to bring that awareness and that behavior out to this world that everybody is doing here. If you feel like you need support or you don't have a village, join our Discord, join our Facebook. If you do join the Facebook, please make sure to answer all the questions that are on there because we don't want to deny you for not answering a question. But we will have to if you don't answer those questions. So please, please, please make sure you do that so we can accept you automatically. And I hope everybody has an awesome day.
Thank you so much. And guys, it's in the link tree, the Facebook group and the Discord. It is in the bio, in my link tree. Over on YouTube, Melissa asks, is there a way to access that training not through TikTok? Yeah, so my link tree is on all my socials. So you can find me there on YouTube or on Instagram or wherever to be able to find it in the link tree. So you guys, I thank y'all for being here. Happy Autism Awareness Month. If it still says follow here, make sure you tap that so you see next time I go live. I don't want you missing out next time that we do these. And yeah, have a good one, everybody. Thank y'all for being here.